Before we start this video, subscribe to my channel, give a like, and click the bell for more updates. Hi everyone, today I'm going to be reading a book called Ricky Ricotta's Mighty Robot versus the Beep Stinkbugs from Saturn. Story by Dave Pilkey, art by Dan Santat. Chapter 1, Ricky and his Robot. One fine day, Ricky Ricotta and his mighty robot were playing cops and robbers in their yard. Ricky liked to play robber because he was good at hiding. Ricky's mighty robot liked playing the cop because he was good at finding things. And then he's using some kind of radar vision. And then he finds Ricky Ricotta by looking at his bones with a headlight. So yeah. Hey, no fair, Ricky laughed. You're not allowed to use X-ray vision. Soon, Ricky's mother came outside. Come along, boys, she said. We are going to Cousin Lucy's house for lunch. Aw, man, said Ricky. Do we have to go? Said Ricky. Yes, said Ricky's mother. It will be fun. But Uncle Freddy always shakes my hand too hard, said Ricky, and Auntie Ethel always kisses me too much, and Cousin Lucy always wants to play princess. Well, we are going anyway, said Ricky's mother, so please try to have some fun. We'll go, said Ricky sighed, but we won't have any fun. Chapter 2, Uncle Freddy and Auntie Ethel. Soon Ricky and his parents arrived at Cousin Lucy's house. Hello, Ricky, my boy, said Uncle Freddy. He grabbed Ricky's hand and shook it hard. Ow, said Ricky. Come on now, said Uncle Freddy. Nobody likes a wimpy handshake. Auntie Ethel reached down and kissed Ricky all over the face. Yuck, said Ricky. Now, said Auntie Ethel. Everybody loves kisses. Ricky's mighty robot wanted to say hello too. He reached down and shook on Uncle Freddy's hand. Ow! Owza! Yoza! Shouted Uncle Freddy. Nobody likes a wimpy handshake. Ricky giggled. Then Ricky's robot gave Auntie Ethel a big slobbery kiss. What's the matter, Ricky? He laughed. I thought you loved kisses. Ricky and his mighty robot flew into the backyard. There was Lucy having a tea party with her pets. Wow, cried Ricky. Look how big your Jurassic jackrabbits got. They like to eat, said Lucy. So I named them Fudgy, Cupcake, and Waffles. Ricky rolled his eyes. Let's play princess, said Lucy. No way, said Ricky. Oh, come on, Lucy begged. I'll be the beautiful princess and you can be the ugly prince. Fudgy, Cupcake, and Waffles will be our royal ponies, and your robot can be the big, brave knight. What part of no way you don't understand? Asked Ricky. Now, boys, said Ricky's father, I want you to play nicely with Lucy. Rats, said Ricky. This is turning out to be a very bad day. But what Ricky didn't know was that things were about to get much, much worse. Chapter 3, Sergeant Stinkbug. More than 800 million miles away, there was a polluted planet called Saturn, which was overrun with beep, smelly stink bugs. Everywhere you looked, trash filled the streets, garbage gunked up the rivers, and factories puffed out too much pollution. It formed toxic ring smoke all around the whole planet. But all of the beep, smelly creatures But of all the beep smelly creatures on Saturn, there was no one beeper or smellier than evil Sergeant Stinkbug. He was the ruler of Saturn, and he was the worst litter bug of all. Every day when Sergeant Stinkbug was done eating, he threw away his dishes out the window. Every night when he was through watching his favorite TV shows, he tossed his TV out the window. Now look at that. That's a lot of TVs that he threw. Every morning when he was finished sleeping in his bed, well, you got the idea, he threw his bed out the window. Usually, Sergeant Stinkbug loved his smelly, toxic planet, but today he strolled through Pollution Parkway and he got fed up. "This place is a dump!" he shouted. "I want to find a new planet that I can junk up." So Sergeant Stinkbug gathered his stinky subjects, climbed aboard his giant spaceship, and headed for Earth. Chapter 4, The Princess of Earth. As the giant spaceship approached Earth, Sergeant Stinkbug spoke to his armies. "Listen up, you stinkers," said the evil sergeant. "First, we must find the King of Earth and kidnap him. Then we will take over the planet." I mean, King of Earth is not even a real thing. The beep stinkbugs searched through their supersonic spy scope, but they could not find a king. They looked all over Earth, but they couldn't find a queen. "Duh, look," said one of the beep stinkbugs. "Finally, I think I see a princess." The supersonic spy scope zoomed in on Lucy, who was standing on the picnic table giving orders. "You guys have to protect me," Lucy said, "so the bad guys don't steal all my precious rubies." "Aha!" cried Sergeant Stinkbug. "I'll kidnap that princess and steal all those rubies which she was talking about. Then we'll take over the planet." So Sergeant Stinkbug got into the attack pod and headed for Lucy's house. Chapter 5, The Picnic. Soon it was time for lunch. Ricky's aunt and uncle brought food out for everyone. Then they went back to inside to eat with Ricky's parents. Okay, that is a lot of cheese sandwiches that Ricky's uncle is carrying, and that's a big plate. Fudge cupcake waffles. Ricky and his mighty robot all dove into their grilled cheese sandwiches. "Come on, you guys," Lucy whined. "Let's play before we eat." Suddenly, Sergeant Stinkbug showed up. He lowered the automatic snatcher arm on his attack pod and grabbed Lucy. "Hey, look, everybody," cried Lucy. "A bad guy's trying to steal my rubies." "Yeah, right," said Ricky, who didn't even bother to turn around. "Come on, you guys," cried Lucy. "Stop eating and save me from the evil space bug." "Boy," said Ricky, that kid sure has a vivid imagination." Chapter 6. Lucy in the sky with rubies. Sergeant Stinkbug carried Lucy high into the air and demanded to know where all the rubies were. "They're right on my crown, you big dummy," said Lucy. "Those aren't real," said Sergeant Stinkbug. "You just drew those on with crayons." "You better put me down before my Jurassic Jackrabbit beat you up," said Lucy. "Ooh, I'm so scared," mocked Sergeant Stinkbug. "Did you draw them with crayons too?" "No," said Lucy. "They're real. And they're right behind you." Sergeant Stinkbug turned around, saw Fudgy, Cupcake, and Waffles. "Help!" he screamed. Then the automatic snatcher let go of Lucy and she fell right into Mighty Robot's head. "Nice catch," said Lucy. Ricky's mighty robot grabbed Sergeant Stinkbug's attack pod and held it tightly. "All right," said Ricky. "What's going on here?" Ooh, nothing, said Surgeon Stinkbug as he reached down to press the emergency attack button on his wrist. Suddenly, the giant spaceship floating above Earth opened up. The two warrior stinkbugs flew out of the spaceship and down to Earth. They were ready to attack. Chapter 7, The Big Fight. Sergeant Stinkbug reached into his belt and grabbed 2 brown gumballs. My grow big gumball should do the trick, laughed the evil sergeant. Here you go, my uglies. He threw the gumballs into the warrior stinkbug's mouth. The warriors chewed and chewed, and they grew bigger and bigger. And bigger and bigger. Then they attacked Big Stinkbug, started to assault with a super smashin' swinger stomp. But Ricky's robot bounced back with a bone-busting blast from his bionic breastplate. Then he finished his fight for freedom with a free-flying foot with their funky faces. Chapter 8, Captured. Ricky's mighty robot was victorious, but not for long. Sergeant Stinkbug leaned out of his attack pod, and tossed more gumballs into the mouths of his warrior stinkbugs. The warriors chewed, and they grew and grew and grew some more. Soon the warriors were 10 times bigger than Ricky's mighty robot. One of them grabbed Ricky's mighty robot in its gigantic fist and prepared to pound him to pieces. We've got to save my robot, cried Ricky. Together, Ricky, Lucy, and Waffles worked out a plan. Fudgy and Cupcake wanted to help too, but they couldn't fly. You boys just stay here and think good thoughts, said Lucy. We'll be back soon and everything will be fine. Ricky, Lucy, and Waffles flew up to Sergeant Stinkbug's attack pod. Let go of my robot right now, yelled Ricky, or you'll be sorry. You're the one who's going to be sorry, laughed Sergeant Stinkbug. He pressed a button on his ship and sprayed our 3 heroes with the super snatchy stink gas. The giant spaceship opened up. Suddenly, hundreds of attack pods poured out, lining up in formation. Chapter 9, Fudgy and Cupcake to the rescue. Fudgy and Cupcake watched the horror unfold above their heads. It looked like the end of the world. They knew they couldn't fly, but they still had to do something. Thumpa 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 thumpa. Shoo! Sproing! Whoosh! Crash bong! Yeah! Snatch! Hooray for Fudgy and Cupcake! Fudgy rummaged through the attack pod until he found the grow big gumballs. Good boy, Fudgy, said Ricky. Fudgy wagged his tail and tossed the bag of gumballs into Ricky's hand. Ricky popped 6 gumballs into his mouth and chewed and chewed. And grew and grew and grew. Now Ricky was as big as the warrior Stinkbugs. He grabbed his mighty robot out of their hands and tucked him into his shirt pocket. Chapter 10, The Big Battle and Flippy Rama. You can pause the video and then read this if you don't know how Flipporamas work. Okay? Okay. The Beep Stinkbugs attacked. Ricky fought back. The Beep Stinkbugs battled hard. Ricky battled harder. Ricky Ricotta won the war. Chapter 11, The Final Attack. Ricky had won his battle with the giant warrior Stinkbugs, but Sergeant Stinkbug still had one more trick up his sleeve. He pressed a button on his wrist and called for his attack pod troops to invade. Suddenly, hundreds of attack pods started zooming toward him. "Oh no!" cried Ricky. "They're everywhere!" "Uh-oh, we're in trouble, mighty robot." Whoosh! Oh no! Whoosh! Whoosh! Ka-jack! Ka-junk! Crash! Ugh, I've got to get higher. Zap! Foop! Cough! Cough! Boom! Rip! Shing! Shing! Zzz! Kafoosh! Fish! Flip! Oh, I get it. It's the biggest of flies, the world's biggest fly swatter. All right, bug brains. Swoosh, boom. It's time for a smackdown. Swoosh, zong. Whoops. No, whoosh, help. Suddenly, a giant hand emerged from the cloud and caught Ricky. It was Lucy. She had jump off. She had the rest. She had chewed up the rest of the bag of gumballs when nobody was looking. "I couldn't help it," said Lucy. "I just love gumballs." Lucy reached into outer space and opened up a giant spaceship. With it, she scooped up all the tiny attack pods. Then she shoved 2 warrior Stinkbugs inside and slammed the lid closed. And with one mighty throw, Lucy tossed the mangled spaceship all the way back to Saturn. "Well," said Lucy, "that takes care of that." Chapter 12, Just Desserts. Fudgy and Waffles had found a big bag of super stringing salt water taffy inside of Sergeant Bug's Stinkbug's pod. They gave the bag to Ricky Ricotta and fed it to Ricky and Lucy. Soon, the 2 cousins had shrunk back to their normal sizes. Together, the 6 friends flew Sergeant Stinkbug to the Squeakyville jail. Then they zoomed in back to Lucy's house just in time for dessert. The grown-ups have bought a chocolate chip cheesecake for everybody. "We heard loud noises out there," said Auntie Lethal. "What have you kids been up to?" asked Uncle Freddy. "Well, a bad guy tried to steal my rubies," said Lucy, "but Ricky Robot beat up the Stinkbugs, and Fudgy found some gumballs that grew big and clobbered the attack pods, and boy," said Ricky's mother, "those kids sure have imaginations." "I know that Lucy gets on your nerves sometimes," said Ricky's dad. Ricky's dad whispered. "But thank you for being nice to her anyway." "No problem," said Ricky. "That's what friends are for." So that was the end of the book. So I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope to see you in my next one.